वो स्कूल में एक बच्चा नहीं होता. He's not the most popular, he's not the class topper, but there's something about him. The way he walks, the way he carries himself, you just can't help but look at him twice. Today's story is about that kid. सालों साल से एक सवाल ने जितनी लड़ाइयां कराई है इंडियन ऑटोमोटिव हिस्ट्री में शायद ही किसी और सवाल ने कराई होंगी. Fortuner or Endeavour. And the interesting part is not the answer. The interesting part is that one of them stopped being made, that one of them left the country. And the argument is still going on. Today we are going to talk about the one that left. मैं हूं संग्राम and this is the Legend of Ford Endeavour. Let's set the scene first. 2003, India's SUV market is a jungle with very few proper predators. You have the Tata Safari, big, boxy, rugged, loved for its character, but not very refined. The Mahindra Bolero, the farmer's choice, built tough, built simple. And then for the really serious ones, you have the Mitsubishi Pajero. And then you had a gap, a big one. Nobody was making a proper body-on-frame SUV that felt genuinely premium and did not cost a whole lot. Ford saw that gap. Now by this time, Ford had already had the Escort experience. They had learned the hard way that bringing a global product to India and just shoving it down the customer will not really work. So this time they had a plan. Ford had the Everest, a proper body-on-frame SUV which was made specifically for the Asia-Pacific market. Based on the Ford Ranger platform, it was built for Asian roads, Asian conditions, Asian buyers. Ford brought it to India, named it the Endeavour because Everest was already dominating a different market, and launched it in 2003. The first generation Endeavour 2003 to 2006 in its original form, and then upgraded and sold till 2010. Tall, wide, long, really long. Under the bonnet came a 2.5 litre diesel engine making 108 brake horsepower. Not a big crazy number, but this car was all about the commanding seating position, the 4x4 system, and enough ground clearance to tackle any pothole, anything that would come on the road. The 4x4 system was the real talking point. Shift on the fly 4-wheel drive. Shift on the fly 4-wheel drive refers to a 4x4 system where you can switch between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive while being on the move while driving. It does not require you to stop the car or get out of the car. India had never seen this at an accessible price point. The Mitsubishi Pajero had it, but it was too expensive and everything else was just too basic. The Endeavour sat right in the sweet spot. But as 2010 was approaching, it was time for something more ambitious, something bigger, something that would start a war. Toyota. In 2009, Toyota launched the Fortuner and it changed everything. Reasonable price, bulletproof reliability, Toyota's brand trust. The Fortuner overnight became India's default premium SUV. It outsold everything. It was everywhere. And Ford straight away knew that they needed something special to go against it. Not just a mere facelift or a tweak. It needed a proper new full-grown SUV. So, they went away. And they came back in 2016 with arguably the most significant Ford ever launched in India. The second generation Ford Endeavour 2016. And this was a whole different animal. A whole new platform based on the new T6 Ranger architecture. Modern, more sophisticated, stiffer, an all-new design, that front end, that wide planted stance. It was a good-looking car. And the engines, the engines. A 2.2-litre 4-cylinder making 158 horsepower and a 3.2-litre 5-cylinder making 197 bhp and 470 Newton meters of torque. A 5-cylinder engine in a production SUV in India. Nobody else was doing this. Not only was the Endeavour quick for something its size, but it was the way it delivered that power. Smooth, effortless, like it had loads of reserves that it wasn't even using. And all that tech. Terrain management system with 6 different drive modes. Basically the car could just sort itself out with just a click of the button. India had never seen this level of sophistication at this price point. And then there was the huge panoramic sunroof, the Fortuner till date. The Fortuner owners know. Here's the thing about the Endeavour that pure spec sheets can't explain. It had personality, a proper, distinct personality. The Fortuner was reliable, dependable, the sensible choice. The Ford was different. It was rugged, it was confident, slightly over-engineered for what most people would need. But it is pure joy. You know why there are so many more Fortuners as compared to the Endeavours? Because people didn't dare. And I can assure you that most Fortuner owners have never even experienced an Endeavour. Because once you do, it just becomes a hard pill to swallow. From the interiors to the tech to the ride quality, the Endeavour just glides. While the first gen Ford Endeavour is a legend in its own right, the second generation is an absolute gem. A big apprehension that people also had with Ford was that the after sales service was too costly and it was too complicated. But when the second generation Ford Endeavour arrived, Ford also brought with them the Ford Price Promise. Now what does the Ford Price Promise do, you might ask? What is so special about it? The fact that the service for the 2.2 Endeavour costs less than your Maruti. You will never find an Endeavour owner who will part ways with it willingly. But as has been the case with many other gems in the country, it just wasn't meant to be. In 2021, Ford announced that they were stopping production in India. Losses had piled up, market share was too thin, and it just wasn't working out. For every single Ford owner in the country, it became a punch in the gut. The Endeavour's production ended, 2020 BS6 cars sold out, and then silence. The Fortuner though just kept selling. But there might be a comeback, and it is a big might because these are still speculations, but we'll try to be positive while we can. The Global Ford Everest, which is what the Endeavour is called everywhere else, got a whole new update, got whole new looks based on the new Ford Ranger platform. Wider, more impressive, properly menacing. Just look at it. There have been multiple sightings of test mules being run, reports of a CBU import strategy, price point of over 50 lakhs, no official confirmation, but it is pointing somewhere. And you know what? India is ready. The premium SUV market in India has only grown since Ford left the country, and there are people who wanted the Endeavour and couldn't get one and have been sitting on that feeling. If everything falls into place, this comeback will be something special. The Ford Endeavour never outsold the Fortuner, never topped the charts, never became the sensible choice. But it never tried to be. It was the car that made you feel special, the car that the enthusiasts wanted, the one that rewarded you for taking it over the sensible choice. And in a market that so often rewards sensible over special, that actually means something. Remember the kid that I talked about at the starting of the video? The one who walked into the room and you just couldn't help but look? You remember him even today. That's the Endeavour. Drop a comment. Did you own the Endeavour? Did you want one? Did you have a Fortuner and secretly envy the Endeavour? I want to know. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you enjoyed. See you in the next one.